Welcome back to Meta Cinema. My first video, Who Killed Tony Soprano, has as of today over 150,000 views and over 1,000 comments, many of them telling me I'm wrong. Of course, this video is referring to the famous last scene of the last episode of the HBO show The Sopranos, which cuts to black and then rolls credits in silence with no explanation, leaving many people to guess what happened and to theorize about it even today, many years later. The scene shows Tony in the diner, it cuts to black, and that's the fact. The rest is all speculative. Show creator David Chase refuses to say what happened, so it's up to you to figure it out for yourself. It's possible Tony wasn't killed, at least not that day anyway. The last two seasons showed Tony in a downward spiral that ended with all his crew murdered and one flipped to be an informant. He had made so many enemies, you have to make a long list of suspects if you think he was killed. Today I want to offer some of the alternative theories that many of the commenters offered in the comment section of my video. Some of them are funny, some kind of bizarre, as you might expect in a YouTube comment section. Some are pretty thought-provoking, so let's check some of them out. One possibility is that Tony flipped to be an informant, and maybe the members-only guy was the arresting officer, as Account Duane Romine suggests. A few commenters offered that theory, and it is possible. He didn't want to go to jail, and he looked after himself first and foremost, despite having killed at least 3 of his own people I can think of for being an informant: Jimmy Altieri, Big Pussy, and Adriana. Many comments said he didn't die, even some going so far as to say Tony can't die. A spin-off of this is that it was the audience that got whacked. Commenter Clorox Bleach says he didn't die. I don't see a blue check mark, so I'm not sure if that's the official position of the Clorox brand. YouTube account Cashin Moodley says he never dies. Well, the character Tony Soprano lives on forever, so you may be onto something with that comment, Cashin. Let's consider if Tony was whacked. So who did it? On my video, which suggests that it was Patsy Parisi, many commenters gave their own opinion. Some are very simple suggestions, lots of jokes, and some thought-provoking conversations. So let's see what they had to say. Let's start with the less serious comments. Many of you liked the joke, not knowing that many before you had made the same joke. Several said Meadows' ex-boyfriend Noah punched Tony's lights out. Several said it was Furio trying to get with Carmela. Some commenting with a little more seriousness about that than others. For some it was a joke, others I think it was a legit theory. Anyway, why would Furio come back and not just do it when he was already there? And how could he know that Carmela would get with him afterward anyway? I think this is mostly a joke theory anyway. Several have said the Vipers gang, from whom Tony and Christopher stole a case of wine. Mostly joking. Georgie the bartender. Poor guy, he certainly had his reasons, and many of you thought it was Georgie who got his revenge by killing Tony. Personally, I think Georgie wouldn't hurt a fly. Several have said it was a medical condition that killed Tony, possibly implying it was the actor's medical conditions that killed Tony. Rest in peace James Gandolfini, who died only several years after the show. YouTube account Razaka116 says it was too much Gabba Gold. In fact, many people said that same joke. Some have said it was the onion rings. Maybe the onion rings choked him? I don't know. The Russian guy. Many of you thought it was the Russian guy that came back from the episode Pine Barrens. Commenting on this video as well as my video about what happened to the Russian, I say he took the $5,000 in Paulie's car and returned to Russia to start his interior decorating business. Check that video out, the link is in the description. Dave Scattino, Tony's old friend who got in over his head in some poker games and ended up bankrupt and committed to a medical institution. Well, if he went totally nuts and wanted revenge, I guess he could be added to the suspect list. The Colombians, add them to the suspect list for sure. 2 people said it was AJ for some reason. Benny Fazio, criminal mastermind. Adriana's mom is a suspect. She certainly had her reasons. Someone said the feds killed him. I think they would rather just prosecute him instead, and especially get him to flip to be an informant against other mobsters. Many comments said the black guy's offed him instead of the members-only guy. To that, I say it doesn't really matter so much as who pulled the trigger. It could have been all 3. The black guys and the members-only guy, killing the whole family in a hailstorm of bullets, which might have explained why the screen went black looking at Tony, which might mean AJ got killed first. But anyway, who hired them? You're left with the same question as the members-only guy acting alone. Somebody hired him. Paulie could have killed Tony. He was afraid Tony was going to have him killed. There is definitely merit to this theory. If it wasn't Patsy, it could have been Paulie. A lot of people said Eugene's brother, considering the resemblance as well as the members-only jacket. Also Eugene's widow, who would have been able to hire a hitman with the inheritance money. I don't think so, because Tony denying the move to Florida is only one reason Eugene took his own life. so you can't really blame one thing. And killing Tony for revenge would have solved nothing. If Tony killed Eugene, that would be one thing, but Eugene killed himself. I think the members only jacket was just a clue it was one of Tony's own crew members. Other commenters have said the jacket means it was a member of the mob, though judging by his mannerisms and obviousness, I have a feeling that the guy was not mafia and may have been under duress, considering he looks miserable, like he really doesn't want to be there, maybe blackmailed or otherwise coerced to do the hit. The winner of the poll and most common comments on my video would be Butchie in New York, with at least a couple dozen comments arguing for Butch having orchestrated the hit after the hit on Phil. Some have mentioned how little Carmine, who always sounded dumb, was actually a genius the whole time. That's definitely possible.
Very observant, the sacred and the profane.
A peripheral of this theory is one going around on YouTube about AJ's girlfriend tipping New York off about where they were going to eat that night. I say it's just as likely Meadows' fiance Patrick Parisi could have told his dad where they'd be. YouTube account Jay Cleb gives some well thought out reasons why Carmine orchestrated the hit. Some have pointed out it's just a show, who cares? Well, I care. You hear me? I care. It may be a stretch, but considering the surreal nature of the last scene, the scene may have been a dream. The opening shot of Tony looking at himself, the fact that Tony came by himself, unguarded, in the middle of a mob war. He sat alone, barely glancing at his surroundings except for the door, even though some very obviously suspect men are around him. It doesn't make sense. Or it may be even more of a stretch, but Tony may have been dead since he went into the light in the hospital, after having been in a coma after he was shot by Uncle Junior. I explained this theory in this video, click above for that explanation. There are some holes in that theory for sure, but check out the video and let me know what you think. And finally, aliens killed Tony. That's right, aliens. Hey, it's always possible. The truth is out there. Are these people wrong? Who's to say? Well, many of you can disagree and tell me I'm wrong or disagree with each other, but really, who is to say definitively that any of these opinions are wrong? No one, not even David Chase. It will always remain a mystery. Even the fate of the Russian guy remains a mystery, even if David Chase says he was found by Boy Scouts. It's all up to you as the audience member. And like David Lynch says about his cryptic movies, any opinion is valid. You will all have your own experiences in life to go off of, and for each audience member, a scene will mean something totally different, and that's okay. And as David Chase says, why does everything have to have an explanation? Doesn't anybody have any imagination anymore? So use your imagination. Yes, there are very strong evidences to suggest it might have been Butchie in New York or other theories, but they're all just theories, just like anyone else's. The important part, whether Tony got killed or not at the end, is the journey from the first season to last, just like any other show. That was a pun based on the last song of the last scene, which was Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. The scene cutting to black right after the words don't stop. Perhaps that was David Chase imploring the audience, don't stop guessing what happened. And we haven't stopped, considering this is many years later and we're still talking about it. Please click above for the playlist for more Sopranos videos and subscribe for more theories about movies and TV shows. Also let me know if you think you know who killed Tony Soprano in the comments. As always, feel free to leave your opinion, which I will respond to when I get the chance. So, thank you for watching.